This is my little globe, and today I'm turning it into a rainbow character. You're welcome to hang out with me while I make it. I'm Bryn, and I make art. Sometimes I have a plan, and sometimes I let the materials lead me. I give my ADHD room to breathe by choosing different styles and mediums. It's a lot of fun. For this project, I wanted to create a unique character, and I knew I wanted it to be colorful. So I decided to make a rainbow with as many shades as I could work in and apply them to this globe. After that, I'll be turning it from a purely decorative art piece into a cute and friendly looking character. The first thing to deal with was this lettering. Thankfully, it was vinyl that someone cut out and stuck on. It said, "You are my greatest adventure," and was probably made for a kid's room. It was cute, and I hope no one is devastated by my undoing it. I just have different goals for this little guy. Now I'm peeling the vinyl off. I have an intense love of peeling things, like to the point that it's maybe a little weird. Before I could paint, I needed to lightly sand the surface and clean it with water and TSP, which degreases the plastic. This helps the paint stick better and keeps it from peeling later. Here you can see me sealing the holes because I didn't realize that this globe actually popped in half, which made the whole project so much easier. Here it is in water. There's the TSP. Gotta get it all mixed in. You don't want a lot of this stuff because it's mildly corrosive. I probably should have worn gloves and, well, I didn't. Sorry. I had to add a base coat to get rid of the pattern underneath. I chose to use plastic bonding spray paint. Base coats aren't very exciting, but they do so much of the proverbial heavy lifting. When spray painting, basically the worst thing that can happen is that you get drips. Of course, that's not the end of the world, but it can totally be avoided. What you want to do is give it a dust coat first, light like this, and make the surface friendly for more paint later. While that dries, let's talk about colors because color is awesome. I'll be painting this into a 9-color rainbow. I really like indigo and I think it's an underrepresented color. I'm adding pink too because I genuinely think rainbows look better with pink in them. The third, maybe unexpected color I'm planning to add is a turquoise or teal, or honestly both, since I'm doing multiple shades on this guy. I'll show you each color as I go. I really went back and forth trying to decide if this little guy wanted to be in traditional rainbow order or something a little more non-traditional. I decided to do the normal rainbow pattern because it makes brains, especially but not exclusively neurodivergent brains like mine, happy. Someday I'll show you guys my out of order rainbow, but I think on this spherical character it would be too much and distracting when I'm trying to make him cute. Anyway, I started by measuring. I wanted my stripes really even in the beginning. And so I did a little bit of math and figured out kind of the best distance between the stripes. And I'm glad I did because it made everything a little more evenly spaced. But at the same time, it was excessive. I ended up wanting my colors blended together, which you'll see later, as opposed to like really clear-cut, distinct lines between each color. I also started out with totally the wrong paint. This was actually a fabric paint marker, which works really well on fabric and not so great on plastic. It didn't blend well with the other paints I was trying to use, and so eventually I realized I had to work over everything, and I put a clear coat over everything I'd done because some of it would work as a base coat layer, and then the rest of it I blended over the top of that clear coat. In my head, at this point I was experimenting with the idea that the red would be where the little dude's hair might be. I wasn't sure if he was going to have hair, or if he was, if it would be like black or white hatch marks or a drawn out shape. Even though I had already sketched his face, I kept debating what to do with his hair. I would have loved to paint straight through the rainbow and put pink right after red, which I actually ended up flipping, you'll see at the end. But I had to skip down and work on the purple next because the red had to dry, otherwise my hand would have smeared it everywhere. And then I was still trying to keep the lines clean between the colors, and so I didn't want to, say, tape the red off and get the red on the sticky part of the tape and ruin the red that I'd just done. While I repeated this process of painting every other stripe, I kind of let my brain relax into the pattern and the process, and at the same time I thought a little bit more about what the face of the character would look like. I was keeping a dark to light effect consistent on all the colors. I ended up switching that around so that it goes from kind of a medium color to a lighter color back to the medium color. And I did that so that I could blend from the red to the orange, from the orange to the yellow, etc. Or I guess from the pink to the red, red to the orange to the yellow, etc. I couldn't decide between calling it Chromos, like chrome, like color, and like the Greek god Chronos, just because I like mythology and my kids kept saying he looked like a little planet, or chroma and giving it girlier features. If you're a linguistics lover like me, you might have noticed that I just jumped across like 3 root languages. Anyway, I've referred to this project at this point enough as a little guy that I decided to stick with Chromos. Jumping ahead here a little bit, you can see that one of the biggest problems I had was that the paint I used was cracking. And the reason the paint I used was cracking was that when I was running in and out of Walmart, I totally thought I had bought a package of acrylic paints. They were watercolors, and so of course they didn't want to bond to the plastic the same way an acrylic paint would. What I ended up doing was mixing clear nail polish into the watercolor, and honestly, as far as mediums go, it was an 8 out of 10. It worked really well, it dried really fast, it cured pretty quickly, so all pretty good things. It was kind of a happy accident. Take a look at that first rainbow. Yum. It was pretty matte because I didn't use gloss paint, which is fine, except that I really like glossy projects. I like shiny things. I'm a crow. So then I went and did some coats of a satin finish clear spray. The last thing you're seeing here, of course, is turning Chromos into a character and giving him facial features and hands. It was really fun. I really enjoyed the whole making process. I enjoyed sharing with you, and I hope you had fun and that you like Chromos because I think he's adorable. I love a project where I can dive in but have an idea in my head too, so I'm not going in totally blind. Here's the before, and here he comes. This is Chromos, the rainbow globe planet guy. I like that he's on a stand. I think it takes him from just being a little silly ball into feeling like a character with some presence, and I really love how he turned out. I love the feeling of an idea growing in my head as well as in my hands. So thank you for hanging out with me in Chromos, and you're totally welcome back next time I make something. Please feel free to drop suggestions for future projects in the comments. All the best.